Hello again, my name is Christerpher F. Coleman with the Business Intelligence Group. I'm a business leader, advisor, and business coach, commenting and giving a business perspective on things I enjoy and love. And currently, right now, I'm enjoying the Women's Basketball League, women's sports, as well as the Unrivaled League, and all of the players understanding the business behind it, understanding the various nuances. I've thoroughly enjoyed deep diving this subject about women's sports, the WNBA, and so on and so forth. But in this video, we're going to talk more about the CBA. We're going to go deeper into the negotiations. We're going to go deeper into the ownership of the teams and what are they looking for? What are their interests and their objectives in these negotiations? So stay tuned. All right, let's get into this. So first thing on the agenda is the Golden State Valkyries, the team valuation. Well, it was recently valued at $500 million. And that's a lot of money because when they entered into the league, the money that they had to pay, the franchising fee, the money that they had to put forth was $50 million. And as you don't know, for teams to come into the league, there's a franchising fee. There was news last week about more teams that are going to be coming into the WNBA, and they go as follows in terms of the new expansions. We already know about the Golden State Valkyrie. They had to pay $50 million. Portland and Toronto, they'll be entering the league, I believe, next year. They had to pay $75 million as a franchising fee. But the three other teams that would be entering into the league are Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia. And they have to pay a whopping $250 million. That is great revenue coming into the league for various projects, business initiatives, being able to pay for certain luxuries for the players, upgrade and the niceties and the creature comforts of being in the WNBA. And so there's a lot that goes into an evaluation of an organization. And so these organizations are private entities, so we don't understand, we don't have insight on their financial documents in terms of their cash flow, inflow cash statements, their balance sheets and things of that nature. So we don't really understand, we really don't understand fully. But one thing we can know is that there are teams that are interested. There were many more teams that wanted to be a part of the WNBA, but they only chose 3 in this last round, which again was Cleveland, Detroit, and Philly. Conveniently, there are NBA teams, kind of a big brother in those areas. So you can save a lot of money by maybe sharing facilities and various assets in that regard. So let's go back to this graphic here. So again, the Golden State Valkyrie is valued the highest valued team at $500 million. The New York Liberty, another big market, $420 million. The Indiana Fever, $335 million. Not necessarily a big market, but nonetheless, it's third in terms of the valuation of teams. I'm surprised LA Sparks is down here at $225 million. I would think they may be higher, but it is what it is. That's that graphic. And so with teams wanting to be a part of the WNBA, valuations are continually going up, even though the league has lost money. It makes you think that owners see something, investors see something in this league, in the opportunity, and thus this is the impetus of why I wanted to make this video. And so as we go back to my agenda here, so we talked about that. $500 million. That's crazy. Now, in terms of the owner's interests, what are they looking for when they are buying a team or paying a franchising fee? A lot of times the NBA owns part of these teams. There's private owners that have maybe minority share, and maybe there's other, smaller investors that might have a minority share into these teams. And what are they looking for? Well, they're looking for one thing. They're looking for a return on their investment. This is part, a lot of wealthy people, they have a portfolio of various investments. It could be, commodities. It could be gold. It could be real estate. It could be intellectual properties. It could be a whole host of things that they have where it's a portfolio of investments where they can borrow against it and they can use that borrowed money as leverage to purchase another asset. And that is a way for their money to work for them to increase their wealth. And so owners, essentially, they want an ROI, a return on their investment. And so you see, quite frankly, with the Golden State Valkyrie worth $500 million and they only put in $50 million, that's a huge increase. And so the owners there, they are happy. So how can players in the negotiations help with the owner's interests? Again, in past videos I talked about all stakeholders have their own self-interest. Whether you are an individual player, fans, owners, commissioner, all of these stakeholders all want something and very few overlap. And so what are the key things that the owner wants? Well, they want an ROI. And so if the players know that they would want a return on their investment, what can players do? Could players help increase the team's valuation year after year? Well, we see a new trend, especially with a lot of players that are they have a lot of influence and a lot of following on social media. So could players that come into a team help with advertising? Could it help with boosting the amount of eyes that are on the team that come to the game based off the popularity of the player? In that regard, if the players on the team can help throughout the year using social media or whatever gifts or whatever talents that they see that can help the team increase their valuation, and there's some kind of criteria to show that their efforts have definitely helped increase, maybe it's winning. Who knows? There's a lot of different ways to increase the valuation of the team. And maybe there's a deal or some kind of talks that we can discuss between players as well as team ownership, minority and majority ownership, of how you as an owner can increase your valuation of your team, and we can partake in that in return for higher salaries. That's point number one. Point number two is, what if there was a team annual bonus for an increase of the valuation of the team each year? So every year at a certain given time, there's a valuation of the team, and based off of the valuation of the team, maybe the salary stay the same, or maybe there's an agreed upon salary range. Maybe it's a hard cap, but for each team there's a team bonus, not a league bonus, but a team bonus, and the team can participate in various activities to help increase the valuation of the team in various different ways. And each year there is a bonus that is given to the players because of their efforts to help increase the valuation of the team. And so I think that's a very good point, and you do it every year. And this is a great way where it's a bonus. It's not something that's given every year, it's something they have to earn. And it's a win-win, because the valuation of the team goes up, and that valuation will stay there. It's going to keep going up unless something very traumatic and something very, very wrong, something very, very bad happens. So annual bonuses for annual valuations. The next thing is kind of like a co-op situation, where in this period of time, for the length of this next CBA, where players on the team are able to have ownership, a minority ownership of the team. And maybe you cut a slice of the pie, maybe it's 10%, and all players in this time period who partake in this business venture can share this 10% as minority ownership for the rest of their lives. And so this is something that maybe is not permanent, but for maybe the next 5, maybe 10 years, that these players that fit a certain criteria. Maybe these are the players that really move the needle. They have an opportunity. Maybe there's a requirement to be able to stay with a team for a certain period of time. Maybe you have to be in the league a certain amount of time. Who knows? There's a certain criteria that decision makers can come up with, but the end state and the generalities of this deal is to have players opt into being part of a minority ownership of the team. What does that do? Well, it gives them skin in the game. Not only it's not just about competition, but they own part of this team. And so they will take better care of it. They'll be more professional. They will be more apt to want to take care of the facilities, as well as being a good steward, whatever, with all of the resources that may be available. They may be a great spokesperson that represents the WNBA, and especially and specifically their team that they're on. And so this might be a great opportunity to give homage to the players now that are in the league now, of their business intellect, of their ability to take a stand, to say, hey, we want more, we want what we deserve, and being able to negotiate ownership of the teams where after they retire, they still maintain a minority ownership of the team. And this is something, this is like in this time, in this era, the only way to do it is to participate now. And after, you know, this agreement ends, it's gone forever. But this helps in this period, in this dispensation of time, for the WNBA to grow. This is a unique opportunity for the team and for the league, for the teams as well as the league, to continue to grow. If the league does not, if the league, there's a strike or a lockout, this might be the end of the WNBA. Who knows? But this is a great opportunity to work together. In other videos, I talked about how the players have the leverage. Ownership, sponsors, they want to make money off of this sport. There's money to be made. They want to make money. They've invested a lot of money. They've lost a lot of money. And so they want to ensure that they can make money off of this league. And so they don't want to shut it down. They don't want to lock it out. But the players have the upper hand because there's other ways that they can do the things that they love, i.e. unrivaled or playing overseas. And so that is that point, being able to have minority ownership of the team that they work on. And now that's another great example. It prevents a lot of the trading. So it goes both ways. Teams just can't trade players whenever they want to. There has to be some working together because the player might, own part of the team. And so what is the lessons learned, some of the life lessons in this video here today? Well, the life lesson is diplomacy. How could I, as a father, as a business leader, as a husband in your life, think about the ways that you can work with others to achieve a certain goal, to achieve success. And a lot of times it's not just about me and thinking about what I want, but really tapping into the mindset of other stakeholders and being able to find ways to help get what they want as well as get what I want. And so again, my name is Christerpher F. Coleman with the Business Intelligence Group. It's been real, it's been fun. Catch you in the next one. Peace.